All right. Welcome, everybody, to an all-new episode of GVN Review. On this episode, we'll be breaking down fully the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. This was a crazy trailer. Trevon texted me as literally the second it came out and was like, let's review it.
Well, I texted you. I was like, he's not answering fast enough. So I was trying to call you. I was like, what is he doing?
You know what it was, Trevon? Honestly, I was asleep. So when I woke up to like 2 missed calls from you and like messages. So I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong? Let me see. And then I'm like, oh, the trailer dropped. But unfortunately, by the time I woke up was the time me and Joel shoot our podcast. So I couldn't fit both in. And I already feel bad having Joel pod, at midnight, damn near. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I couldn't push that back any more than it was already pushed. So I'm like, it can wait till tomorrow. And it sucks because I'm not going to say any names on here, but a lot of people that are on our level that dropped the review last night are at like 9,000 views right now. So it's like, we did kind of miss that. And that's on me. That's on me. But they also released trailers at the most random of times.
Well, it's really because I was sitting there just casually looking at my phone, looking on Twitter, I see Spider-Man trending, and I'm like, Spider-Man has been trending randomly for the past like month or so. So I was like, all right, it's just another one of people going, oh, I wish. And then when it was like, oh my God, it's the official trailer, I sat there and said, oh, they felt pressured for that. They were like, I have this leak out there.
But I thought it was coming though because of CinemaCon anyway. That's what everybody was expecting.
No, CinemaCon was supposed to be the only place to get that trailer. And it was gonna be like when with Infinity War, how San Diego got that trailer, and then like what? Right. A month later or something like that, we got a different trailer. So it was supposed to be something special for CinemaCon. But again, when it leaks, it's kind of just like, well, shit, genie's out of the lamp now. But all right, let's get into this. But first, let me introduce everybody, starting off with Tia. What's going on, Tia?
What's going on, guys? I'm super excited for this. I have to say, this looked good. This looked really good. I was sitting there going, Marvel is killing it with these trailers recently. I watched your reaction to the Eternals trailer, felt completely the same way. And then when I saw this, I was like, oh, now I'm excited. I mean, I always love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange, but I wasn't I know everyone is so super excited for all the crossovers, and I'm like, yeah, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies were good, but I don't think of them as like the glory Bible that so many people do. And I'm like, even I geeked out when I was seeing all those like little Easter eggs. I'm like, okay, now I'm excited.
Yeah, Kanan was not happy when I said that it did not age well, albeit I only meant that Green Goblin's costume did not age well. Albeit I didn't think anything of it when I was like 9 when it came out. But as you get older and you read comic books and you're just like, you went out of your way to make this suit look ugly. Like it's the most practical of suits, and you went out of your way.
I'll agree with you. The movie didn't age well. I rewatched it during the pandemic, and I was like, it's a little corny.
Which is crazy because you have phenomenal actors in that first movie, and some of the acting in that movie is just like, is this a Lifetime movie? What is
so
that?
questionable?
Like,
so questionable.
And
Mary Jane is like the typical damsel in distress the entire movie. But anyway,
yeah, that was legit the height of damsel in distress would be that Mary Jane. Trevon, what's up, Trevon?
Hey everybody, I'm happy to be here. Can't wait to talk about this. I was like, okay, when we're gonna review it? When we're gonna review it? No. Okay. I'm gonna react. Sorry, I'm gonna go down. So I couldn't wait. I was like, I can't wait. So
you nor Jamie waited for me. You and Jamie were both like, nah, hell nah. Review.
I didn't even know I was gonna be here. Listen, I was studying last night. I just happened to check Twitter, and I'm like, oh, the trailer's out. I need to watch it now. So it does happen.
I mean, that trailer dropping probably would have stopped anything. Like the doctor could have been delivering a baby and said, whoa, 1 second, ma'am, hold on. You see
It's
the
3
Spider-Man
minutes. Give me
trailer
3
drop?
minutes. 3 minutes.
You gotta give
Give
me
me
a
3
few
minutes.
seconds. Hold on. But that's the kind of effect it looked like it had on social media.
Oh yeah.
Like, oof. And the fact that it outdid Batman, kind of just let you know where Spider-Man is right now. Albeit I do believe when the Flash trailer comes out and we get that shot of Keaton, it will obliterate this Spider-Man numbers. But yeah,
I don't think so, but what's
I can almost guarantee you the hive for Toby is way higher for Michael Keaton. You're talking from 89 to 2021, not 2000 to 2021, 1989. That hive is bigger. That hive for sure is bigger. Joel, I feel like you can speak more to that Keaton hive. But what's up, Joel?
Wow, what's up? What's up? Well, the time is now. We finally got the trailer. I think that's why it made the numbers it did. Is because it's not like the people have been waiting for this trailer for months. Like the hype was real. Like, and every new thing that came in, every new rumor, it just added to the fuel. It's like throwing fucking wood to fire, and it exploded last night like everywhere. So it's
Sure did.
And here we are.
Did. Honestly, Sony and Marvel should thank the Scoopers. They built this hype.
Yeah.
Because without them, remember, Spidey doesn't give out any information. So as far as we would have known, it would have just been Doctor Strange would have been what was confirmed in this movie, and Peter. And we would have had to assume all the other pieces around.
The Cowboys let us know about Jamie. Jamie let us know about Jamie.
Jamie did let us know about, which is weird that he was an official casting, but was not in the trailer, like shown in the trailer.
Right. I think the TV. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Trevon.
Also, I think the TV shows really helped too, like from WandaVision and Loki and everything, and we knew Wanda was going to be in Doctor Strange, and then Doctor Strange is in Spider-Man, so it just like it all makes us want to know what's going to happen. I think that really pulled us in too. Like, oh, so multiverse already happened, so is it going to be in this? So
another element.
It would have definitely exploded WandaVision if Strange was in it, like he was originally supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because then people would have felt like, oh, I really can't miss any of these shows. Like he was in that, and she'll be in his, and he'll be in. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a web. You know what I'm saying? But last but definitely not least, Jamie. What's going on, Jamie?
Nothing much. It actually, so I just came back from dinner, and for some reason it was like torrential rain when I went out. So of course my shoes are soaked and everything's soaked. I walk out like 15 minutes later, just a little sprinkling, and I'm like, damn. Okay. So yeah, I'm a little soaked, but I'm happy to be here.
That sounds like New Jersey weather. You walk out, it's a hurricane, you blink, and then it's just like 3 drops. It's just like, what happened here? It's just like, I don't know. Just decided I didn't want to rain anymore. But all right, let's get into this. Let's get into breaking down this trailer. I usually like to have it on in the background so I can kind of like go through it and we just dissect it piece by piece. First thing I want to point out that no one's really mentioned that much. Steve Ditko, his name is spray painted behind Peter and Mary Jane to start this trailer. And as anyone who well knows, Steve Ditko had his hands on the Doctor Strange story, a lot of stuff in the comics and whatnot. So this was very interesting. That they decided to do that with the spray paint, and also the song that plays a little bit before Mary Jane starts talking is the original animated theme song. So that was pretty cool that they worked that in there, and it's cool anytime they work that in there. But all right, so Trevon, I actually want to start with you, man. So we get the beginning of this trailer. We're kind of seeing things calm a bit before all shit hits the fan. What were your thoughts, man, on this trailer?
I was wondering, so it's like they were up there just hiding, it seemed. He was just like, do we have to go down there? I wonder if this was like right after the end of Far From Home. I'm assuming like right after it happened, they just went up there to hide. Like, oh God, let's just not be anywhere. But he didn't have his suit or anything, so I'm a little confused. I wonder, this trailer seems very disjointed.
Well, no, I think the shot where you see them on top of the thing with the helicopter surrounding them, I think that's right at when he's swinging with Mary Jane. I think that's right after where things left off, and that's where it'll pick up. You're right. It's not in like order necessarily, but you can kind of piece it together. Here's how you can piece it together. That suit that he's wearing, he's probably wearing that suit in the beginning, and then probably not much, if at all, throughout the movie. That specific suit that he just built in the last movie. So that's how you can kind of connect where it ends to where it begins. Is that suit?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it really starts calm, and then it's like, oh, what is he gonna do? Like, how does this even work? Everybody knows now. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's young, you know.
Really?
Like you're a kid, like you're in high school. Like, how does this even go? Like, I was like, good luck to you. Like, and I didn't even think about him. Like, I mean, I knew Doctor Strange was in it, but I didn't think he would go to him to ask him something like that. I don't know. Like, I didn't think it would go like this. Like, he said everybody. I was like, oh, everybody. Wow.
That's right from the comics. That was that was the risk he was taking in the comics, was the idea of the spell that, like, spells don't ever, if any movie you watch, spells don't work
don't go right
perfectly, where it's like, oh, how would you like this to go? And it's like, all right, cool, we can do that.
But I'm also wondering, like, why Strange would be this reckless. Like, for me, like, why would you even do this spell? Like, I almost feel like he's like off a little bit. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you even do this? You should know.
I felt the same way.
Yeah, like, I agree.
When I was watching the trailer, and Peter's like, oh, I want this, and Juan goes, don't do it, it's super dangerous, and Steven's like, yeah, and he like winks towards Peter, and I'm like, it's really strange that you're so willing to do something like that. It's like, I get it, Strange is arrogant, he thinks that he's a master of spells, and we've seen him toy around with things in his first movie that he wasn't supposed to. It's like, I get that, but I feel like this, especially now that he's been in this role as a sorcerer supreme for so long, I don't know, it did seem like so, but maybe in the movie it takes a little bit more tug and pull, and maybe he sees the value of doing this for Peter.
I mean,
I don't know.
Also, remember, at the time, him handing over the Infinity Stone was just like, what are you stupid? That was part of a bigger plan. So who knows? I'm not saying it is, not giving him all that credit, but just saying it is possible he sees the value, like Tia said, the value in the now rather than the consequences of later. But also remember, Peter fucked up the spell. so it wasn't just like,
he kept talking and made it unstable.
Right. He messed up the spell. So I assume if the spell went the way it was supposed to, it wouldn't have been this.
I'm also wondering how he even found the Sanctum Sanctorum, for another thing. Like, how is he even finding it that easily? Like, he just coming in the front door. It's almost like Strange was expecting him to come anyway. Maybe Strange was planning it.
I think the way it usually works in the comics is, if you know the address, you can, because the address isn't visible to the building, isn't visible to everybody. So I feel like if you know the address, you know where to go, and then I think you can just knock on the door, but it's not visible to everybody. I think that's the way that it goes, because I doubt Peter called him.
I know you can swing by it in the game.
That's true.
It's there. I mean,
it is there.
But
it is there.
The question would be, Joel, is it there because it's visible to Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is of the people Strange allows to stop by?
I just know it's there. I mean, they never explain it.
Joel's just, it's there. That's really all I know. I don't know. I just doubt Peter called him. So I assume there is some kind of spell that Strange has to where that building is not visible to everybody. Here's how we know the building's not visible to everybody. Seeing the Ancient One fight during the Battle of New York, someone would have saw that, but no one did, because I don't think it's visible. So
I mean, a lot of shit was going on during that fight too, so it's not like anyone was looking for her. She was just
no.
Her little area.
No, I don't mean the Avengers. I just mean no one saw.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying no one was looking for that. It's just like they're running away, hiding.
That is that is fair. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Trevon.
I mean, the other thing, like, of course, seeing, I think it's 5 of the Sinister Six in this trailer, if you catch them all, and then also you see, yeah, it's hard to catch them all. It's real quick little scenes, and I think it's definitely a misdirect at the end where he says, "Hello, Peter." I think he's not talking to Tom Holland, but he's talking to another Peter. So that'll be interesting. And also the scene where Doctor Strange is kind of like chasing him throws me off. I'm like, what's happening there? Like, why would they put it in there? It's almost like he's, I don't know, like, why would he be fighting Spider-Man? Like, it's just weird. So I just they threw that in there and kind of like, I don't know, I don't understand that part, but I guess it'd be cool to see when we get there. Yeah, but that's it. I mean, that's all I got right now. I mean, I'll talk later when we break it out some more.
I'm gonna pass it to you, Tia. I'm still torn. I mean, people keep showing all the evidence in the world. I'm still not 100% sure that that's Sandman protecting Peter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it looks like a projectile shot. Like the lightning is hitting the ground and it's like bouncing up. Yeah, I mean that, and then someone showed a close up of when Peter was running through the school with the new suit on. Yeah, there's like claw marks like from Lizard. I don't know. To me,
well, I didn't see that. The Lizard thing I saw was he's like standing in front of some kind of like force field thing. Right. Something like hits the wall behind him or whatever. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So that's
look,
Scorpion.
All of this could be true. My mental capacity can only stick with, I know Doc Ock, I know Green Goblin, I know Electro. That's all my mind can handle right now. Because to me, if there is a Sinister Six, part of me does kind of feel like, and I saw someone reviewing this trailer said this, part of me kind of wants it to just be Tom, because I kind of feel like I need more of Peter having to overcome things like this alone. Albeit he did overcome the first movie alone. Stark didn't help him. The second movie he did overcome alone also. I like that. I like Peter that has to fend for himself. But it is a cool optic of the legendary Spider-Man coming together to take down the Sinister Six. So it's really either way. I'm fine if they're not. And if they are, that's it. Your box office numbers will be historic. Like move aside Star Wars. But Joel, I'll go. No, Tia, I'm sorry. I'll go to you. What were your thoughts on this trailer?
So, are we talking about the whole trailer, or are we like going?
Yeah, I want to do. I want to do the whole trailer, and then as each person goes, there might be something someone wants to add on to. I thought that would be easier rather than long-winding it.
Okay, so I mean, I thought the trailer looked phenomenal. I just thought it looked really good. There's so many questions. Why is it snowing in this sanctum and everything? I like the nice little shot of Peter and MJ just kind of chilling. And what did she call her? What did she call him? Her Spider Lord or something?
Yeah.
I was like, I like this relation. I like that this relationship has developed, throughout the 3 movies. It seems really cool. I like that there's that real threat where he's saying that my friends, my family, they're being affected by this. And I mean, as I said before, I have questions as to why Strange seems so willing. But whatever, I'll wait till the movie for that explanation. The visuals look amazing. When those trains, start spinning and everything, I was like, that looks cool. I like the little pumpkin bomb. That looked cool too. Now, I wanted to respond to something Trevon said before I talk about the real thing that I saw on my side of Twitter blowing up about this trailer. Mm-hmm. I don't know necessarily if it is Doc Ock saying hello, Peter, to a different Peter Parker. I think he sees our Peter Parker in his Spider-Man suit and just calls him Peter because he's used to a Peter Parker. I know that some people were saying like, oh no, he has to be saying hello to Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker, which would be cool. I don't know if necessarily that's the case. But again, would be super cool. I am one of those people that, I mean, doesn't happen, that's fine. But it would be cool to see Toby and Andrew back, just because when else are you going to do it in a movie other than now? Now I want to talk about the internet is going, well, at least my side of the internet is going crazy, going, that's Charlie Cox's arm. And I'm like, stop playing with me, because I'm trying to temper my expectations that he's not going to be in it. So if he is in it, I'm excited. And I'm like, they're like, no. Why wouldn't they show the head while he's slamming the things out? But I'm like, there's too many things that says it's not him, because they're like, oh, that's him walking into the room. Well, he doesn't have his walking stick. To the world, he's blind. He would have his walking stick, you know? And I was like, and then of course I saw the internet going, that's his ass. That's Charlie Cox's ass. And I was like, that's too blurry.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that.
Oh my god. Oh, Trevon, I have to send you. It's so funny. People are like, they're like, and you know, they're doing the meme of Electra going, I'd recognize that ass.
Okay, I haven't seen that one at all.
Wow. People are literally trying to examine not only his butt but his arm. They're posting pictures of like Charlie Cox's arm, and they're like, that's his hairy arm. And I'm like, I don't listen. No one, but
I really hope it is.
Like, I'm telling you, I would be so ecstatic if it's Peter and all of a sudden Matt Murdock shows up and it's like, Peter Parker, stop talking. But I'm like, you know, people are running, like outlets are running with it. I think even comicbook.com are like, oh, you know, Willem Dafoe is returning, Alfred Molina, Charlie Cox. I'm like, has it legitimately been confirmed that Charlie Cox has returned? Because so far we have not seen any pictures, we've not seen any videos. Kevin Feige hasn't said shit.
Here's the thing. That's something we don't ever have to wait for. Feige nor Sony will ever come out and confirm Andrew, Toby, or Charlie. No matter what any of the most trusted sites say, it is always going to be rumored. So we sit in front of that movie and we see it, because no one's going to give that up. If they were going to give that up,
except JB Smooth.
Yeah,
let me just say real quick, Trevon, because me and Kanan argued for like an hour last night. When I first heard it, I thought the guy was asking, who would you like to see with Tom Holland? Like, what Spider-Man would you like? Which one would you prefer? Mm-hmm. And I thought he was answering Toby, like that's his guy. Mm-hmm. The guy, he kind of said it really quick. So in my mind, I think JB kind of maybe heard it differently and answered. I have to assume, A, JB Smooth probably wasn't on set whenever these guys came. And two, he has to be smart enough to know you can't give that away. Like that.
I mean, not for nothing though. Like, I think the only reason why they put Alfred Molina in the trailers because Alfred Molina spilled the beans and he didn't know he wasn't supposed to. Like, I think that was the thing. He literally was like, yeah, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to say something.
Okay. That is fair. I personally thought the only reason Doctor Strange was in this movie was so that Feige had a personal babysitter with Holland for their media run. It was just like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, because wasn't that the thing in one of the others where it's like Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah. He could not do media alone. He was not allowed to do media alone.
I think Tom Holland like posted something even when the trailer leaked, and he's like, "Oh, good, it wasn't me."
It's refreshing. Between him and Mark Ruffalo, we would know everything in the MCU.
But I just wanted to say, like, again, it would be really cool if I am hoping Charlie Cox is in this, because it is it's like if you're going through the trouble of and I know they're two different studios, right? Netflix and Sony. Obviously, I know that. But it's like if you're going through the trouble of organizing, bringing all these other actors from different Spider-Man universes back, I don't see why, like, the contract is done with Netflix. Charlie Cox has back now. Marvel has him back. Charlie Cox has made it very apparent that he'd love to come back. It's still fresh in people's mind. And we were hurt, okay? We were hurt when Netflix was canceled. It's not, so it's like, just bring him back. Imagine, guys, imagine if fucking Vincent D'Onofrio's in this. Because he's a Spider-Man. I'm sorry, I'm geeking out too much now.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like,
No,
now I
you're
just want
not.
the
Oh,
Marvel
good.
people to come back. I want
mean,
the
no.
Netflix people to come back. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a
But
lot of-
anyway,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry. But I just wanted to say also, like, I know it was a big thing in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 that people complained that there was too many villains. And now in this, it seems like there's going to be a lot of villains. But what do you guys think will be the difference that maybe sets this movie apart, where they'll actually be able to balance it if they have so many characters?
That's never a problem. That was not the problem for Amazing Spider-Man 2. The problem with Amazing Spider-Man 2 was you didn't set up half the villains. So it kind of just felt like, well, what? Huh? Because Infinity War had multiple villains and that worked completely fine. So to me, multiple villains isn't a bad thing. You could easily do it. Everyone just has to make sense. And if you're saying everyone's coming through the multiverse into this current, that makes
kind of a cheat code. Kind of a cheat
right.
code.
Like they don't
they're
have
pulling
to
villains
have
that are already used.
exactly. Their motivations are already explained. They each hate Spider-Man. So you know what I'm saying? So there isn't the element of, well, why does Green Goblin want Spider-Man dead? Why does Doc? All of it makes sense right there. Boom, done. So that's the easiest way. So to me, multiple villains is never a problem. It's just you have to balance it so it makes sense for each of their reasonings for hating the superhero. And that's where I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 lacked. Was everyone's motivations just kind of was so muddy. It was just what is the muddiest. Like, remember Harry hated Peter because Peter wouldn't give him his spider blood so he could bring his father back to life. And it's just like, what? Like, what? How do you even know that'll work? So to me, it was just like whoever wrote that movie was not trying his hardest. But Joel, Jamie, Trevon, do you guys think multiple villains in this will be too much? Joel, I'll start with you.
No, because these are all villains we've seen already. So there's no, you don't have to set up as much. So you're just basically they'll be there to fight and not for much actual story. So I don't think it'll fill the problem that we had with Electro, and then of course them forcing Electro and then Green Goblin together around the same time, and then of course setting up a possible Sinister Six at the end, and that was Amazing Spider-Man. And you have Spider-Man 3, which had Sandman, who was barely a fucking bad guy. That was a whole twisted shit. It really looked good. And then you had Venom. It was all set up in the sequel to set him up right, and they fuck it up anyway. You know what? The point is, those movies tried their hardest to fuck those up. This isn't. This is laying it out for you. It's very different.
I 100% agree. And what's funny about you saying Sandman was barely a villain, if you think about it, Norman died somewhat being redeemed. I mean, his ghost kind of fucked all that up. But him dying and his last words being to preserve the image that he had for his son. Doc Ock, we know, died, saving all of New York. In Electro, we know that was more so he was forced into that. He was never really necessarily naturally a villain. So it'll be interesting with them coming out, because Alfred Molina did give this up that apparently Doc Ock, where it takes place in this movie, is right after he breaks down the pillars and falls into the Hudson. Which is actually interesting because the bridge where that scene takes place is above the Hudson. So that's really interesting that in present time, he comes back up literally right where he was. So it'll be interesting if that's right when he comes back. Is the hello Peter friendly, or is that supposed to be menacing? So
it seemed menacing to me.
It does, right? But when you really think about it, it's like, how else would he have said that really in any con?
If you're bringing in a villain, you're not gonna have them there to shake hands.
No, right. But Yeah, I mean, yeah, no,
and
that's a great
they
point.
they frame that whole thing to look super menacing with the tendrils. That I don't know if that's like a good guy hello. That's pretty.
I'm not
That's
there
not
to
a
see
good guy
Doc
hello.
Ock as a big guy. Trust me.
No. I don't think he's gonna be a good guy either. I'm just saying if it does take place, he redeemed himself at the end.
Well, as he was dying, like it was like really at the end. Like, well, it depends. What's on? When did the thing in the back of his neck get broken?
As he was trying to break the pillars, it kind of just snapped, and that's when he had his own free will. So apparently, it seems like what Alfred Molina means, rather than what he said, is this takes place before he falls into the Hudson. That makes more sense because that's still when the tentacles were taking over his mind.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense.
Losing it a little bit, yeah.
Right. So that makes more sense rather than after he was redeemed. And it's like, well, why would he come back bad now? Like,
right.
You sacrificed yourself.
And that the same thing with Sandman. If he's actually in the movie, I mean, he left on good terms.
Right.
Like,
so it's like
he never was on bad terms, technically. I mean, Peter had more ill will because he killed his uncle in the movie.
Right. Which was the weirdest way to go.
Another weird.
Did it look to you guys like they de-aged Alfred Molina?
Yeah. They did.
Yeah,
I was telling Joel.
I hate when they do that.
I was telling Joel yesterday. They did it purely because it's supposed to be 2002 Alfred Molina.
No.
But I personally think he looks good right now.
To me, I think he looks virtually the same.
Yeah. So I get their reasoning, but it's not like he looks horrible and you're like, God damn, we gotta do something.
Well, it's not like, and this is no knock for Mark Hamill, but Mark Hamill is significantly older looking now than he was when he first played Luke. But Alfred Molina was always playing an adult, and he was an adult when he took that role. So I mean, just saying.
I was wondering.
Go ahead, Trevon. No, go ahead, Trevon.
I was wondering if they're variants, because the thing that is weird that Jamie Foxx's color is different. He was blue because everything was blue before. Now it's lightning is yellow.
They're definitely redacting that.
I was just about to say, I think that's more so them fixing how shitty Electro was in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I mean, look, it could be a variant, but also remember, we don't know where this takes place as in respects to Loki. Because remember, time works differently there. So we don't know how that has trickled down into everywhere.
Yeah, that's the hardest question to figure out, like when everything kind of fell apart in the Loki timeline.
Right. Because again, if it is, that's why I told Joel, what's very frustrating is why I've been telling you guys for forever, I hate all of this. It seems as though each person has broken the multiverse, not one singular person. Peter had a hand in it. Sylvie had a hand in it. And then Wanda had a hand in it. And we're seeing all three of them reap the consequences of each. Peter going through now the multiverse, Loki now in a Kang world, and Wanda now obviously becoming a villain and looking for her boys. So to me, it's just like not one person broke it, but each story would have you think that singular person is what broke it. So that's why I'm just kind of like, again, I don't know if variants exist yet in the world of Spider-Man or the continuity of the DMC.
I want a timeline so bad. Like I know they probably won't give it to us, but I just want to know when did WandaVision happen relative to this and this relative to Endgame. Like just all of it. I just want to know. Oh, I know I far from, but still, like, where is all this land? Like,
I mean, I would love a comic after this is over. After the entire multiverse is wrapped up, I would love a comic recapping everything where it's a direct line where you can kind of piece everything. Go, oh, okay, that makes sense. But Joel, I want to go to you, man. It is funny that Wong's leaving, and he's just like, you better not. And he's just like, all right, cool. And he leaves. And he's just like, fuck him, let's do it. Like, who cares about Wong? You don't give a shit. Let's do it. Which is funny because it makes Doctor Strange seem so immature, to where it's like he's waiting for the parents to leave. Just like, all right, he's gone. You ready?
I said like Wong's gonna be like, yo, I literally left for 5 minutes and you fucked the multiverse up.
He tweeted at the trailer. He said, "I told you so."
I told you, but I like the idea that he was going off to Shang-Chi at that moment. That's why I had his bags packed. I like the idea of that. Also somebody said Doctor Strange was giving them serious Bronx vibes. All he was missing was Tim's. And I was just like, yo, that would have been fire to see Doctor Strange in Tim's with like a North Face jacket. That would have really exploded that trailer for me. But no, Joel, how did you enjoy this trailer, and how excited are you for what this is building for this movie, let alone going forward for the multiverse?
I enjoyed it. It was a fun teaser, but I do look at it as a teaser because it still didn't reveal what we really been hoping for. You know, like Toby and Andrew, Charlie. You know, that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I want to know for sure. But you know, they say it's a teaser. They literally teased the shit out of the shit we already knew. So now it's just a matter of like, oh, now we still have questions, and a lot of us are still fighting with each other over what's what. There are literally people that don't believe that Toby and Andrew might actually show up at this point because they keep holding back, and so it's like I'm not totally sure what exactly. I enjoyed it. The point is, I had fun with it, and that's really all I can say. I mean, it was really good.
I mean, yeah, but I am part of that, Joe. It's where I am of the mindset of, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, look, all of the evidence is there. All of it is there. I have nothing to argue on outside of the fact that I have spent 2021 having my heart broken numerous times. So part of me is kind of just like, if they're in it, perfect. If they're not, perfect. I am good either way.
I was like that in the beginning, though. See, in the beginning, I was like, look, if they're in it, not. I never needed them to be in the movie ever.
Right,
you know?
right.
I'm more excited for Charlie Cox actually showing up because I'm like, that's legit something I'm waiting for because like I would love the Daredevil show. I love Charlie as Daredevil. I love all those characters, but if I just got Charlie back, I was fine. And like when they said that was gonna happen, I was like, if this is true, I'll cry watching that movie. Like, you know?
Joel, you and me, I will cry. And not from, and I'm sorry, Trevon, to overstep. I was just gonna say, at least like I know that they've kind of like decanonized it, but at some point the Netflix shows were canonically took place in the MCU.
Yeah, well,
it's not like Toby and Andrew's Spider-Man were canonically in the MCU. So I feel like it makes more sense to have Charlie Cox back than it does even the other two.
I can tell you this: Netflix's MCU is canon until all of them are recast. If even one of them is still used, it's all canon. It's still all canon. Yeah. And I tell you what, it's way more canon than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Feige still to this day will not admit that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is part of the MCU.
And there have been some rumblings about that.
Which is weird though, because you know, and this is another thing, which is what I hold again. I know that they're two different networks, but he had the guy who played Jarvis from Agent Carter in Endgame. Mm-hmm. So if you brought that dude in, you can bring the other dude in, okay? Bring back our Charlie Cox.
But he's made it very clear, no. No, and it's mainly because think about how much freedom they allowed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to have. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did a whole bunch of stuff that I'm sure Feige wants to do at some point, and I kind of feel like he doesn't want to have to backtrack.
I'm pretty sure if you watch all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they were definitely living in a variant timeline.
Before variant timeline.
Very sway.
It became Inhumans almost. Like it basically became Inhumans.
Well, I wish it would fucking.
That's basically what it was.
We don't talk about Inhumans.
I'm saying that's what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. basically was. It was just a whole bunch of Inhumans.
He used a lot of Inhumans.
Yeah.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I think Feige doesn't want to have to retcon, so he'd rather just tell you don't pay attention to that.
That's the thing. The Netflix shows, even if they bring in those characters, there's no 100% sure that the shows are canon. Those actors might be canon and they're back as those characters, but
and not for nothing, like I wouldn't even care honestly. Like I mean I loved the Netflix shows, but I can just go back and rewatch them as long as you bring back the actors.
Right.
I just want Jessica Jones.
I would love her too.
Yes.
I looked up, like we've gotten we've heard Charlie Cox might be back, we've heard Kristen Ritter might be back, we've heard what's his name? We just said his name.
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal.
I see her. I'm
we've
screaming in
heard
theater. I swear.
all these
I
guys.
swear.
We've
I'm
heard that they all might be
screaming.
coming.
I see her. I'm screaming.
Yeah, and look,
look.
I tell you this, the reason why I think some of these have to be true is you see where Marvel's heading with Moon Knight, with Blade coming soon. We can almost assume Ghost Rider will be announced at some point soon.
And the fact that they're bringing in Echo.
Right, they're
Echo.
heading into
Echo's getting her own show.
Right, they're heading into the world of that. So I'm like, yeah, man, this is a perfect time. Bring Daredevil back, Punisher back, while you're bringing up Moon Knight, Blade's coming, Ghost Rider's probably on the horizon. Well, we know Ghost Rider's coming because they canceled the Ghost Rider show.
I was sad about that.
We assume
I actually liked him.
I do too.
They definitely did that though strategically.
I'll say this
before we got into production. They're like, whoa, stop.
I'll say this, Trevon. The only reason why I look at it as a gift is me and Joel said this the moment they canceled it. It has to be because Feige's ready to use Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And that's the blessing of it. That's the blessing and the curse of it.
Yeah.
Also, not for nothing, who knows if Hulu would have, because it was supposed to be on Hulu. And I really liked Hellstrom. I really did. But didn't get the platform I think it should have. And maybe it's like they just didn't want to do that with Ghost Rider because they're like, well, we're going to use him. Why are we going to allow him to be on Hulu?
Right.
Then they take the Marvel branding off of Hellstrom. Like they kind of like
they
really distance it.
Like
they really tried.
I think it said like once, like
Marvel.
They did.
They
which is why
Trayvon.
Which is why I keep trying to tell people.
I love it.
He's not in this Spider-Man movie because you're not going to sell to children that Spider-Man made a deal with the devil. You're just not going to, which is why the better chance would have been in WandaVision or leapfrogging to Doctor Strange 2. Those are the best places. If he's not in either one of those, I will lose interest at that point. So if he pops up,
I think we will use him. I'm not sure if it'll be anytime soon, but I do believe they will use him eventually.
Juwaan, I saw the funniest thing. Remember in the trailer when Peter's walking clearly to a courthouse?
I know exactly what you're about to say. Yeah.
And they had the sign with the and people were like Mephisto.
Yeah. I was getting texts of like are you gonna start it back up again? And I'm like, no.
You're never gonna.
I don't have it in me. The first text I got was, could Doctor Strange be Mephisto? And that's why. And I'm like,
I did see some people saying that Doctor Strange was acting super sketch.
I agree.
After the spell, like after that happened.
I think even before, because he was just like, "Oh, you want to reverse time? Okay, let's do it."
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
look,
I'll
say
say
this.
You want, young fellow who I met only once.
I'll say this. I don't hope they go the route of Mephisto being Doctor Strange. That to me is just way off-putting. A Skrull being Doctor Strange could be something huge heading into Secret Invasion.
Well, I thought that, but would he even be able to do that stuff? I mean,
well, even though in the comics, there was a Skrull that was Thor, and he could still summon his version of Mjolnir.
That's a Super Skrulls, right? That's a Super Skrulls, right?
They did the scroll for
Isn't that a Super Skrull getting powers?
Wait, hold on. One at a time. Finish what you're saying, Joel. I'm gonna go to Jamie.
I don't like any type of scroll thinking they have superpowers like that. Like magic, especially, should be something not to be fucked with like that by just a random scroll.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I prefer it to just be Strange and he's fucking out of his mind. I prefer that. I don't need him to be Mephisto or.
He's just bored. He's like, I feel like messing up.
I mean,
shit.
you also have to remember, if we remember back to the first Doctor Strange, he is a guy that takes risk. He believes he is above everything. So this is in character for Doctor Strange to kind of go, if anybody can make this spell work, it'd be me. But go ahead, Jamie.
I was gonna say, it wasn't Furia Skrull in Far From Home?
No, it was Talos just pretending to be Fury. Fury was really in. Now, Jamie, I remember telling Joel right when that movie ended, that it made me hate the whole thing, because I said that was your chance, man. You will never find a better chance to throw people off than to have said Fury actually died in Winter Soldier, and it's been a scroll the whole time. I was like, that was right there. But no, it wasn't really Fury. He's really up in space creating Sword, the organization Sword. So it was just Talos, just doing a favor for Fury. So yeah, so really we have not seen real Skrulls in terms of being somebody that we know.
We probably will soon with Secret Invasion, but I'm not ready to just. That's gonna be a pain in the ass. So I'm ready myself.
I just saw this thing on Twitter that was like, what if it's like a dark version of Stephen Strange and the multiverse already broke prior? I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense. You guys who are more so comic book readers would know about that.
Well, this is all new territory. This storyline is not from anything. So there is nothing we can go back to disprove anything. So it could be. Yeah. It could be.
It is using a storyline, but it's obviously doing its own thing with it. So they can obviously change it any way they want, So that's
because in the comics, Peter does go to Strange to ask him for help, but Peter ultimately strikes a deal with Mephisto, and the cost of that deal is that he loses Mary Jane. So I doubt they go the route of that, because I doubt Strange will have identity or
or if it happens, I wouldn't be against not losing her, but like the fact that she doesn't remember who he is and having to start over again.
Oh, that'd be fine with. Yeah, that I'd be fine with. You know why I'd be fine with that? Because it'd be the perfect time to bring in Gwen Stacy, or bring Liz back. It's like you have options for Peter Parker's love life. It doesn't have to just be Mary Jane, which is what I love.
Technically she's MJ, Michelle Jones.
Right. Yes, you are right. Hopefully this spell changes that. It's like
full time.
You're Mary Jane now. You're not Michelle.
I'm witness protection. I was a whole different name.
What if she's just like, I've been lying to you this whole time. I'm really Mary Jane. I don't know why I slipped.
I wouldn't be surprised. She's such a zany character. Yeah, I could believe it.
It would be the weirdest thing, but at this point, Peter wouldn't even care. He would just go, all right, I call you MJ, so it doesn't matter what the M or the J
still works.
It still works for me.
Now
Jamie,
I'm wondering.
Can I take a moment and say that it looks like you're hiding someone in your bed right now?
That's just my backrest on top of my other pillow.
I was like kind of not paying attention. I just like.
Hold on, because now I can't unsee it. It does look like before I came to come in, she was like, "Hi, now."
Oh man, I'm running over my coins and stuff. Trying to show y'all I did not kidnap anyone. Oh my gosh, it's really tangled in there. Look, nothing there.
Bro, how crazy would it be if someone was underneath there?
I would be shocked. I'd like, oh god. What are you doing in here?
The amount of editing I would have had to do to end this episode with hiding out that whole thing. Thank you, Tia, for taking us on that very weird turn. It would have been weird if someone was underneath there.
I couldn't help it. I was like, I'm just gonna go for it and say it.
All right, Jamie, you're gonna end this out. Give us your thoughts on this trailer, and if there were any questions or anything that stood out to you.
So I really enjoyed it. I was very caught off guard by Doctor Strange's reaction to Peter's question, just like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Why not? And then I didn't really think about it until today, because I watched the trailer last night. Everybody is going to forget that you're Spider-Man. So I'm like, does that literally apply to everybody, like what Peter was saying? So maybe the Avengers would forget who he is, and if they forget who he is, how does that apply to what I
didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I thought about it because wait a minute. I'm like, if everybody forgets,
what makes it interesting for Peter is we're about to get a whole bunch of new heroes that join the Avengers for the first time. So it would just kind of just be like him hopping in line of just like, oh, let me just hop right in here and
Yeah,
act like everything's normal.
And so then I'm also like, would Doctor Strange be the only one who knows who Peter is because he casts a spell, or does the spell work on him as well? So yeah, I think that's like probably my number one question from watching the trailer.
Yeah, I don't think it applies to Strange.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, as he's telling him, I think that would be a concern that he would raise of like, I'm just let you know, right after I finish this, I'm not gonna know who you are. I may even try to kill you.
See, so that's what I'm saying. Like, because he's acting so strange, I'm not even sure if he would even say that. Like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna forget who you are. So good luck when things go wrong. So, but
I will say the original, not rumor, the original story of not story, but the original concept of what this movie was going to be is that Strange is a mentor to Spider-Man. So that's why I'm kind of like, I think we're maybe reading into it a little bit too much, because if that is true, and I'm not saying it is, if that is true and he's supposed to be the mentor, really hard to be a mentor when you're trying to murder me throughout the movie.
So, I was just thinking about something. So if everybody forgets, so he has the Edith glasses, right? So okay, so that he'll have those still, I'm assuming. He'll have the suit that's like linked to Iron Man's stuff. Happy won't know him anymore. So it just sounds messy. Sounds really, really bad. Now I start thinking like, so nobody will know who he is.
But everybody who called him Iron Man Jr. will probably be happy because no one knows who he is now.
Right.
And they'll have to start from scratch.
But I mean, that's how, Trevon, you watched Sabrina. All of us here watched the Netflix Sabrina. That's how all of those spells work. It's either or. There is no in between. You don't get it how you want it. It's either they all forget you or everyone knows. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say this to you earlier, T, and then Jamie, I'm gonna let you finish up. The guys that arrested Peter, do you know what corporation that is?
What?
That's a corporation that started the first Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. The guys that were cleaning up, that took Michael Keaton's Vulture's job, they now are tasked with they have like a new job, and it's not to clean up after the Avengers. It's to really kind of handle certain things because there's no Shield. There's no more Shield, and usually Shield would handle things on this level. So now that's what they do. So that's why a lot of those guys that look new, some of them are from that cleaning crew that now have been upgraded.
Got promoted.
Yeah, look at them.
Right.
Making money.
remember, it was Stark that brought them, that created that organization to where it's just kind of like, hey, I'm gonna blow up like 6 buildings. Yeah, I gotta come clean that shit up. It's like, so I assume Pepper was just kind of like, I think I could find something better for you. This is, you shouldn't be having to clean up after the Avengers. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
What else? So I like had the trailer on repeat as we were talking, and then I just happened to notice like the string of lights with like the dude with the witch hat on, like that costume. That looks like the same like scene from where they were like talking about the movie, and they're like, oh yeah, the movie's gonna come out this year, guys, or whatever. When they did that campaign to like tease it on, I think it was like, it started on Instagram, and then they had like big trailer with all the what was it, like the chemical reaction thingies on the whiteboard and stuff. So I don't know if that's actually the same place or not, but that would be interesting if it actually like played into the movie. So I'm definitely gonna have to like re-watch that and see if there's like any other clues anywhere. But it did look like a normal office because it had Spider-Man posters in there. So I don't know, maybe they just kept the same string of lights. Maybe I'm reaching, who knows. But
I tell you what, you're not alone, because I think everybody in some sort of way has reached on some kind of concept of what this trailer is.
And then just like, oh my gosh, like when you see like the little green goblin bomb, I was like, oh, so he's actually gonna be in it, because I did briefly see the people talking about it on Twitter. I'm like, okay, let me not look at it, so like when the trailer comes out I can be surprised. But then I did know that Green Goblin and Doc Ock were gonna be it. But when I saw like Alfred Molina, I was like, oh, they might actually be doing it. They might actually be doing it. That's gonna be great. So yeah, that was definitely like the most hype moment of the trailer for me. This was great, and I think you guys think we'll probably see like a trailer
100%.
relatively soon.
Oh, yeah.
Around Eternals, unless Eternals
yeah.
gets pushed back around Eternals, because Eternals is November, and then this comes out within the first 2 weeks of December.
Okay.
Yeah,
No
but I will say
pushing.
this. I will say this: if Eternals gets pushed, this will be pushed. I doubt Marvel or Sony wants to take any kind of risk. With the fact that people just aren't going out to theaters. As much hype as this generated, you would assume people, and again, Eternals generated a lot of excitement amongst the Twitterverse. So you would assume people would go in droves. But again, we are geeks, so we usually follow other geeks. So this is a whole bunch of geeks. That's not what makes up the huge box office. It's the people that have no idea about any of these people.
They should have put the tickets on sale.
For what, Spider-Man?
I would have bought them.
Man, I would have been
pre-order for tickets.
I would have bought them. I've done that before. I've done that before.
You know how mad I would have been if I reserved tickets and then they moved it? Yeah. And now I got to try to figure out when I can. No, just do it closer to the release. You know exactly when it's coming out. So all that means is we need to all go out and show love to Shang-Chi. We need to all go out.
Oh, I'm there. IMAX, open night.
Yeah, you got any friends, cousins, siblings, parents? Bring everybody.
Bring my teachers.
Bring
classmates.
Bring everybody.
We're gonna have a class trip, guys.
There you go.
I've never seen a sign in a movie theater that says no pets. Bring some pets in there. Bring everybody. Buy the tickets. Bring everybody. But no, it's just all about us supporting this movie. But no, this trailer looks great. I'll also say, Jamie, what was cool about the Goblin Ball kind of rolling up is that Goblin Bomb. It looks as though Pumpkin Bomb. That's right. It is Pumpkin Bomb. It pops up the same time you see the tentacle of Doc Ock. So it looks as if they're both rising at the same moment. Like they're both coming up simultaneously. And it'll be interesting because I tell you this now, that Goblin suit better not look the same. It better. Doc Ock already looks better from what he looked like in 2002.
It would be kind of funny since in some of the Marvel series they've been doing like the classic look, although that's not like classic. Like if they had the costume in there just for like a moment, I think that'd be pretty funny.
What, from the 2002 movie?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I mean, it's only but so much they can retcon now. They gotta pull them. If they're pulling them out of there, they gotta kind of bring the suit with them. Like,
no, you don't. Electro's about to have a whole new look.
Well, we know he's gonna have a different color. We don't know about the suit. We don't know what he's gonna look like.
I think he might have a new look. I think he might. I mean, again, it depends because in the comics, he didn't have on the suit he wore was to protect the electricity from just going out everywhere. And the way Mark wrote that Electro was that he needed something. It just kind of flows through him. So it works a little bit differently. It's like his body holds it in rather than a suit does. Again, hated it. But again, let's see what they do. I'm really excited. We know, here's the funny thing. We know Shocker and Scorpion are in the same jail that Vulture is in.
Yeah.
But only supposedly 5 members of the Sinister Six are in this movie.
Yep.
I do raise the question of who the 6th would be.
Mysterio.
I told you all that. I would love that. I would love
Mysterio.
If it was the hocus pocus of bitch, I'm back. Like what? Like
he can do the train thing that Dr. Strange was doing. Technically.
It doesn't fit Joel, but here's how it could fit. If this spell didn't work, Mysterio coming back is how that could clear Peter's name. He ain't dead. I didn't kill him. He's right there.
I mean, it's already out of control. I think that's the whole point.
I guess, yeah. But then who's that 6th member?
It's gonna be Rhino. I know you don't like it.
No, I'm fine with Rhino. I just don't want that look for Rhino.
If Electro gets a new look, why can't Rhino get a new look?
That's my point. If he gets a new look, By all means, let it be Rhino. I would be a little upset though if we don't get Scorpion and he's there. Like he's there to.
The Scorpion better have a suit, bro. But then
That's
why are
what
you
I'm
gonna
saying.
explain that? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But that's the thing. All these villains are from different worlds, and you're gonna have one randomly from his world. You get it? That's how it doesn't make
I
sense.
still have questions about Vulture because after you saw that Morbius trailer, you saw him in there.
Right.
It just threw everything off. Like, what?
Oh,
Why is he
fucking
there? Yeah, I was like, why is he there? Like, so it just threw everything off. So I don't know.
And the
he,
bigger
and he
question
also was
is-
good at the end, kinda. He was like, okay, I'll never tell you a secret and all that stuff.
Well,
so
no,
he's kind of
no. Remember, he took a Joker approach. It wasn't to protect Peter. It was that he wanted to kill Peter. He wanted to make sure no one else got that opportunity. He wanted to personally kill Peter.
He doesn't plan on staying in jail, basically.
Right, exactly. He wasn't planning on staying in there long. He wanted to kill Peter. So he wasn't protecting the kid, not at all. He didn't. There was no redemption for Vulture at that point. But yeah, Morbius made it look like it was a prison break. If it was a prison break, when did the prison break happen in terms of in Spider-Man's world? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. It looked like it was a prison transfer on a break.
But how they even the same world?
You mean like a prison transfer and he just knocked out the guards or something like that?
No, it just it looked like he was moving from one place to another, and he already knew him from somewhere else. I have no idea how. I just know he already knew him.
Oh,
he
no.
He was.
I get what you're saying in that respect. I'm saying it was just weird. Morbius just was walking by and he was just like, hello.
Like, all right, cool.
Huh? Like,
It's
what? But I will say the only reason why I wasn't feeding into the other members of the Sinister Six being in here outside of Goblin, Doc Ock, and Electro is you gotta have. I mean, it's called Sinister Six, so it's like, who the fuck is the sixth member? And I don't want to have to rack my brain to thinking about who the sixth member could be. So I'd rather just, in my mind, believe it's three, and then be surprised by the other three, rather than it knowing there's five and have to wait until December to see who the hell the sixth member is.
I'll probably come out before that.
I was gonna say, you asked earlier whether or not, like, I thought the movie was gonna be like a little bit too busy with so many villains, and I'm not super optimistic about having a lot of villains. It's not that I don't think that they can do it well. It's just there's so many different variables, especially with them kind of reintroducing villains that were in previous Spider-Man or Spider-Mans. I don't know how you say that.
That's correct.
So I don't know. I think they're really gonna have to like do a good job, which I think they're capable of doing, and not be like lazy or sloppy with it. But just a little bit of me is worried if they do want to like be that ambitious.
Well, I will say the reason why it works is Spider-Man is known for facing six people at once often. So if anywhere it could work, it would be in the story with Spider-Man is having multiple villains.
Yeah, but that's what I like it if it's six, and then it makes sense for if it's gonna be six that he gets help with the other two Spider-Men. And then, in my opinion, that's why it would be six. He could probably handle three. Now I know you love the Ultimate Spider-Man. When he got Sinister Six, who helped him? The Avengers.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Spider-Man. So I'm just saying, six is a lot. I know he's handled six before, but it's.
And also, you're gonna stop hanging that on me, Joel.
You love them, so I'm gonna keep it against you.
I thought the show was good, but I didn't agree with everything that show did.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't want my Luke as a teenager. I don't want my Luke age as a teenager. I agree with you on that. But we do differ, and I did like White Tiger. I did like White Tiger. I want more White Tiger. But anyway, this movie has huge implications. This movie is going to be insane. This is the first trailer. You know what I'm saying? And only God knows what a second trailer would be. I don't even think we need one. I mean, the amount of people that
need one.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't watch it.
The amount of people that tried to piece all these things together, they'll still be trying to piece all this together come November. So this might be the only time, this movie and Infinity War might be the only time I felt one trailer kind of nailed it for me. Just nailed it. It just nailed it to where, because to me, I don't really need questions answered. I just need excitement built.
I don't need a trailer, man, at all, because I want to watch these movies regardless.
Right, me too. Right, exactly.
I feel like
things,
trailers for
I
me,
do-
they give like almost too much information to where I start thinking about it and I'm able to piece together like some things that could happen. So that's why I generally don't like watching more than one trailer, and I probably won't watch more than one for this because I'm excited to see just like everything play out.
I just hate when they start the clips. I just hate when they finally
Like,
get done with the final trailer, then they start the little clips and
Yeah,
stuff.
like with
I've been
Shang-Chi.
avoiding the Shang-Chi one.
I don't.
I've been avoiding them so
There's
hard.
a lot of
I don't
shit
want to do it.
out there now.
That's always been my question for marketing. Who is that for? Who are the clips for?
Yeah.
Who are the clips for that the trailers didn't do it?
Hmm.
Like if you release 3 trailers and you're telling me those 3 trailers couldn't do what your 19 clips are about to do, then that's a problem. In
A lot of those clips get shown on TV, like talk shows and shit, and then they drop online.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Just like so, I mean, wasn't that Eternals the final trailer?
Yeah,
What they said?
the final
So
trailer.
that's why I'm worried about that starting, and that movie doesn't come out till November technically. So like,
Yeah.
what if
Well,
they start doing clips?
I'm more concerned that if this movie gets pushed, we'll have a 3rd trailer or a 4th trailer technically.
Oh, God.
They'll have to release another trailer. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully. But all right, I think we broke down everything we could for Spider-Man No Way Home. This was great. I remember just getting the name of this movie was insane.
Yeah.
And now we get to see what's happening inside the movie. So that's great. That's really, really, really awesome. And fingers crossed, because a lot of these movies come out around New York Comic Con. Hopefully we can get some, maybe the Eternals popping up at New York Comic Con would be awesome. You know, it sucks that Venom was moved because maybe Venom would have popped up at New York Comic Con. But it still could. So yeah, because it comes out in January, so you still could. Yeah, you still could. But I want to thank Tia, Trevon, Jamie, and Joel for joining me on this breakdown of No Way Home. And yeah, we're not ready. As Tom Holland said, we're not ready for this.
Right.
He said this was only the tip of the iceberg. That's why when he said that, I was just like, shit, I don't need another trailer. I'm so scared. If this
what could it possibly be?
What else could it be? What else? But no. So I'm really excited, and thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for MCR as we break down the brand new episode of What If. Me and Joel saw this episode. It's a really ambitious one. They did some stuff with this. So I can't wait for you guys to see it and us to break it down tomorrow. But till next time, guys. Peace.
All right, peace.
Bye.